Welcome to the meeting by Sean Arden. Let's get into this word. This is based on a true story of whenever the devil came to me and visited me in my apartment. It's kind of extreme, but it's truthful. So why don't you kick back and enjoy the introduction. It was the summer of 2019. I was working on launching a space burial company called Space Care. It was late at night, around 3 o'clock in the morning. The native voices were saying, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, over and over again to me. Then they follow up with, you took over space, you took over space, you took over space. They did this to frighten me. I'm nearly breaking psychology at this point. I dropped to the floor, then in my imagination, in my imagination of myself, floating past there in deep space, passing Pluto, pops in my head. I saw the image clearly. I asked, how did I get there? Then in an instant, like the flash of lightning, the rockets, the launch pads, the dreams of the company were born. As a result, I spent 3 months figuring out how to create this space burial service. I thought of all the possible rocket designs, as to the purpose of the boot in a space burial service. And a few months go by. Now it's November 7th, 2019. I had been sitting on my space burial service idea for a few months now. I hadn't done anything with it though. I wrote out the whole plan on a sheet of paper, like how we'd track each and every rocket that goes into deep space, how we would have voice communication and live feed digital data of the deceased loved ones. I wrote it all out the best I could. And that week I decided I was going to go to the Army recruiter and talk to them about rocket creations. I was nervous, I'm not going to lie. I pulled up to the recruiter office. I sat in my car for a little bit, but I finally mustered up the courage to go in. I rang the buzzer. A lieutenant or sergeant answered. Army recruiter, how can I help you? Yes, my name is Sean. I was just wondering if I would be able to talk to you about rocket creations. I don't remember exactly what he said, but however he did say I was on the right track. I went in and I kind of just handed him a piece of paper to him and asked if he would read it. He read it. The new light. He honestly liked the idea. The other recruiters was wondering if I was talking about rockets to blow stuff up in space. I wasn't. Instead, it was just an idea for a space burial service. I felt a little strange. The second coming. A few months go by. I was jamming to Skill's new album, Victorious. Then I came across the Second Coming of Christ YouTube video. I watched it. It kind of related to me in a way. I thought, I should see me for a little while when I thought I had telepathy. But after I watched the video, the voices started calling me Second Coming. I played around with the idea of a little bit, but I didn't fully believe it. There were a lot of things I hadn't done yet. I played around in my imagination, seizing the dragon stuff. Like I'd pretend I was flying around the world, and I was either riding it or capturing it at the time. It was just for fun with the voices. Then in one of my dreams, the dragon crash landed in the middle of this ocean and sank to the bottom of the sea. At the time, I was watching videos about archangels, specifically Michael the archangel. I paused the video on an image of Michael. After 30 seconds or so, I saw Michael wink at me. I was sitting there in my bed thinking to myself, like, what the heck? Like at that moment in the video was paused, but Michael's eyes had life in them. A few days go by, the gardener. I'm talking to this guy named Paul on Facebook. He was a $30,000 a month earner inside Empower Network. He sent me some pretty wild messages about our friend Dave. Dave was making videos and audios claiming to be the Messiah and that he would restore Jerusalem. Paul wanted to illustrate the apocalypse may come. I kind of freaked out at this point. I didn't know what was going on. I looked into Dave's profile and I saw all the videos and claims. I saw a dragon pop up on Dave's shoulder in one of the videos. It was when he was pointing to an image of Jesus Christ claiming to be the Son of Man. A baby one. I was kind of scared. Dave was a very influential person. I didn't know if it was Dave or not. And when I saw the baby red dragon on his shoulders, I knew something was up. The dragon spotted. I messaged Homeland Security, the President of the United States, about the situation. I felt a little weird just saying dragon spotted without full understanding and clarity. I emailed them information and ideas about how the world and essentially how to save it someday in the future. A few days ago, the naggy spirits actually went away for a little while. I was thinking what I was doing and saying was pretty wild, but the energy was so cool. The visit, then one morning I woke up to a supernatural being descending from the heavens with a sword in hand. The sword penetrated through my walls and windows. I sat up in bed looking up to one of the most beautiful angels that I'd ever seen. I fell in love with it at first sight. I called her Blade the Blade of Truth because no lies could pass through it. I could tell she was here to help with what was going on. The twins showed up later that day. One was a fiery warrior and the other had a golden lasso. That fiery angel would portal through to the other side of the lasso and pop up and fly around in my peripherals. It was so cool, actually. I was afraid the archangels would have been harassed, injured, or disrupted by the native spirits, because sometimes they manifested themselves. But the schizophrenia could not deny what was being seen through my eyes. The archangels, my friend Coop, who had just passed away, up in heaven, dimension standing outside the gates, he rode a white horse down to me. Coop had a big smile on his face as he descended down to me. I spent a little while explaining to the native voices a new dimension of the abyss for Satan that led to the lion. I personally didn't want to be too bad. I want a little bit of home-like feeling towards it. At this point, my conscience entered a new realm of existence and our creation. It was the most fascinating situation to be in the world. I also showed the disrupted spirits a glimpse of where they would go if they continued disrespecting me, mankind, and the angels like they were doing in the past. It was a nasty place with different levels of pain and torture devices. It was kind of nasty thinking truthfully. I didn't want to show the nasty spirits this place even throw them there for all eternity, however it had to be said. Then as the days went on, by nightfall, God floated down from heaven and presented himself to me. It was such an overwhelming feeling seeing him. He brought the archangels with him. God had a big smile on his face. Raphael showed up. It was very interesting how he presents himself to me. He was miniature and just chilling on my right side of my chest. I looked down and I recognized him. Then something really weird happened. Fair warning. The image of the dragon laying on the bottom of the sea popped up into my mind. It was just resting at the bottom of the sea with its head cut off. I saw the archangel Satan extract himself from the dragon in his angelic form. The archangels, it was super wild. Satan floated around my room a little bit, taunting me a bit, but he was miniature, the size of a fairy. I gasped when I first saw him. He was like a little fairy in front of me. I was literally oh my God, there's no freaking way. The dragon is right in front of me. And God put him in a force shield that he couldn't break out of. It was like a green ball or spear. And after examining the force shield God had put him in, I thought of an idea for force shield technology here on Earth. Like I saw Satan going to the sun or the lake of fire or something in the future. I started to calculate heat and gravity mixed together. I thought it would create some kind of mini force shield. I messaged the government about my force shield idea theory, and some of it panned out. Our current views on how to create force shield technology requires heating up an area in space, then manipulating its plasma particles to vaporize all incoming projectiles. Thought I was pretty close to figuring out how to do it, to be honest. During this time, the voices were going bananas. They were saying things like it was hurting them because my world beliefs were so bizarre to them. The archangels visited me. I seized the dragon and my God and so on. So I asked God to tribute me if I was truly telepathic and I was hurting people's beliefs. I asked them to throw me in the sun. He didn't. Eventually I came down from those thoughts, and the archangels, God, and I all had a meeting that night. I did do a lot of the talking. I didn't mean to. I just did. There was a lot on my mind that night. I basically said I think a lot of people here on Earth blame Satan for things that he's not personally responsible for. I tried to make the celebration between the archangels like reunion between each other, and I wasn't aware of the last time the archangels had all been on Earth at the same time together. The voices were really starting to piss me off at this point. I couldn't sit through the nonsense at this point. I just wanted to kill them. I just wanted to be able to believe my own thoughts and not get bombarded with nonsense. Then one tried to create a chant, a nasty, parasitic old lady who was a wannabe demon. I yanked her out of my head and threw her to the ground. I thought I obliterated her, to be honest. It was like I extracted her from the back of my mind. I brought her to the center and threw her away. It was pretty powerful. I was super pissed off that the naggy spirits kept trying to continue a false prophecy chant. I'm sure the archangels could tell it was frustrating. Quite honestly, meeting the archangel in 2019 was kind of embarrassing for me in a way, because I was like I was fighting the schizophrenia off me, and it kept saying over and over again that it was going to obliterate my sex life and make my thingy, not work for the ladies anymore. It tried to scare me into believing its lies. Then they meant it too. That was the craziest part. They later asked me over 100,000 times. I've been voicing it. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to obliterate your orgasm. Haha, now we're over dead. I had to battle my way through this mess with my girlfriend at the time. I was just about to ask my doctor to prescribe me some Viagra so I'd be super horny, but have no supporting evidence or thoughts. However, I decided not to. It's just super frustrating and ignorant to go through. I didn't know exactly how to cope with it. It was like having a short-circuit demon who could see into my dreams and points of views and talk to me. They would try and twist my emotions so hard. It was super frustrating. Quite frankly, it was embarrassing to even repeat. There's so much to be happy and grateful for in life. All the voices could come up with was kill yourself. I can't wait 10 years until you're president to save the world. End your life now. Nonsense. So, yeah, after I had thrown this crazy demon out of my head, heaven appeared out above my apartment. I saw death sitting up there on the throne looking down at me. I didn't want to bother him at the time, so telling the other spirits to leave him alone. I don't call upon him, let him be. The spirits didn't listen. So I went to the gas station. As soon as one would drop or stop, another one would pop up and say, someone just struck the doomsday clock. Someone just hit the doomsday clock. And over again, for 30 minutes. I drove around my car for a little while that night. One of the main reasons was I was fearful of meeting Death, the Archangel at the time. Was mainly because I didn't want to bug him for sure, and I didn't want to seem weak in front of him. Then eventually, when I was on the way back to my apartment, the world at the bottom of my feet changed the end of the world molten, end of the world scenario. So the whole earth blanketed in molten rock and fire, and the Archangel of Death lowered his sight down from heaven. And it was I either stepped on the blade or he struck me with it. I say struck me because when I got home, I was laying in bed. I saw the edge of the blade being lowered down to a different dimension. I saw an image of myself going years into the future, moving the earth with my planet mover idea. I saw the natty old granny dimension spirit next to me, and the dimension popped up with a scythe, and I felt the pow. And a really sharp, piercing pain shot up my right leg, where the world got placed after it was sucked in my vessel a few years beforehand. It actually hurt for a second. I felt physical pain for the first time. After death had struck me, my leg got like sucked into an internet dimension, and then the spiritual earth that was attached to me went away. It was strange. It was as if the internet got sucked to my leg that day. And Twitter banned me on every single one of my accounts temporarily for some reason. The end. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Come back for part 2 or part 3 on escaping the abyss.